An early noon in Ponyville, Gabby was helping Derpy to deliver some mails across town. Ever since Gabby had been starting helping Derpy and the local post office in Ponyville, she had made so many new friends across town and even in Griffithstone. Even though that she was very happy to help new friends, especially Derpy if they were unstaffed or they didn't have any personnel to help. Sometimes she even worked in a post office when Derpy was out delivering some mails, and she quickly got used to it. Even though that she had so many friends across town, there was one thing that she really wanted the most. Every time she saw one of her closest friends in town, she always saw them with their special sound pony, and that made her a little bit jealous. She wanted to be with some pony also. And even though when back in Griffithstone, before she became the pony's special deliverer of mail, there were not much. She didn't have so many friends back home in Griffithstone. But that all slowly changed. Soon, every of all the Griffins started working together and tried to rebuild their culture to the former glory. Even though then Gabby had been offered to stay in Poland to be as deliverer. At first, she didn't want to move from her old home, but since she was the only one left of her family, her parents passed away when she was a little bit younger, and she had to live on the streets herself. Then. But now, ever since though that she still lives in Griffithstone and sometimes goes to help in Ponyville. But there was the problem. She didn't have any problem to travel back and forth between the two different countries. No. But there was something about that question that the offer. She had been offered to be an official male pony in Ponyville if she took the offer. And of course, there were some things that maybe seems to be easy for her. But there were just one thing. Since back home, there was this griffin that she had a very much strong likes to. But it was a griffin by the name Bliss. Bliss was almost unlike any other griffins. He was very fast, very loyal, but most of all, brave. He had fought against many dangerous creatures almost in Griffithstone or beyond that. He travels a lot, and he is a very much like Rainbow Dash. But she couldn't stop thinking about Blaze. He's a very strong, loyal friend. They were close friends. But it was over the past 2 years since that she had starting had some feelings towards Bliss. At first, she only thought maybe that she just like him more than as a friend. But it wasn't until she started working in Ponyville from time to time when she realized that Blaze might be her crush. Even though that she had no idea at first, she thought maybe that it was some close friend that she had very strong ties to. But even though there was so much deeper about this question herself, even some like Rainbow Dash, Rarity had often asked if there was some pony back home that she likes. But she said that there were at least one male griffin that she likes, but she said that he only likes him as a friend. They are actually close friends. They help each other from almost anything what they need help with. But after all of this happened, she could still not believe if Blaze would be with her. After all, she is almost not like him. She is not that fast, but she's strong, loyal. But she didn't. It couldn't. He was like almost Rainbow. He likes to compete against almost any flyers, but he only competes in friendship games. Like he didn't do that to brag that he's the fastest flyer on it. in like that, even though he says that he is fast. But he didn't brag that he would say, "Oh, I'm faster than you," but he never do that. But after all this happened, ever since Gabby was offered to be as official pony deliverer in Pony, she decided to take the offer, and she moved to Ponyville. And everything seemed to be going well there. She had a new friends, and she loved her new work. And the ponies there loved her kindness. Always answer with a polite answer. Even if some ponies had been complaints about their deliveries never arrived, and she always said with a smile that she would look it up to it right away, and she always do that. And the ponies then thanks for her help and the service had been. But before she started working there, the service about returning letters or mails had often gets almost takes about 1 or 2 days. But as after she stopped working there, it started to get the letters or mails often get the same day or almost a day later. And even Derpy have very much impressed how much Gabby have worked so hard to get so better. She even gets a reward from her hard work from Derpy and the others, and she was just happy for that. But one day she gets a visit from Gilda, who was in town for to see her friend Rainbow. She hears that Blaze has a has a girlfriend back home. That broke her heart. But there was something about this though. It, but though, even that her heart was broken, she just felt happy for Blaze that I found someone to be with. Even as she often says, "No, I don't want to be with him," or "I don't like him as dad, I only like him as a friend." But there was something more about him that makes her heart racing faster every single time. She wasn't unaware about this though. But there was this one thing. Ever since Gabby had started seeing some pony in town. In fact, ever since she found out that Blaze would start dating another griffin, Gabby wanted to try to maybe date a stallion just to see if that could work. And the stallion always treated her so well. But they didn't do much, since her schedule at the post office always getting busy, and he had a lot of spare time. But they tried to make it work. But unfortunately, after about 2 months of dating, he couldn't handle it more, so he decided to break up with her. And Gabby, she was devastated. She was so much in love with the stallion. She couldn't stop move on from that. But one day, Blaze arrived to Ponyville. He was there to just to see his old friend Gabby. Of course, when Gabby saw him, he was like, she was like, "Oh." And since that, though, he arrived around lunchtime, and she was able to take lunch break. So they went to the restaurant to have something to eat. There, they start talking about what has happened in their lives lately. Even Gabby then had asked, "What about your new girlfriend? How things going on between you two?" "Oh, yes, not working out," he said. "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." "Yeah, things happens. She and I, we tried to make it work, but to be honest, it wasn't much to work on that. And I had been thinking moving from Griffithstone." "Wait, moving? But where?" she asked. I have not. I haven't decided yet. Maybe Manhattan, Trottingham, or I don't know, somewhere I can have something to work." And then Gabby then asked if he would maybe like to move to Ponyville. It's a small town, but has probably many things that they can offer. But there were some things that he wondered what he can do. Of course, Gabby then said maybe that he can maybe work at a school of friendship. Me, a teacher, that would be something. I mean, what subject would I do? Math, English, writing? No, but I think maybe as a gym teacher. Huh, that could actually work. So the same day, Blaze went to the school to talk to Twilight, and he asked her if it was possible that he maybe could work there as a teacher, maybe as a gym teacher. Since Rainbow were actually normally a gym teacher, but since she also is a wonderboard, it happens that she cannot be able to trap her to be teaching that or at the classes. So sometimes they don't have any gym classes. So maybe if there was possible to have some sort of a second gym teacher that can hop in if the main teacher is gone. And he said actually that can work. And they decided to do that. But there was one thing though that he even asked, do you know if there are any place I can apply for residence? And Twilight explains some of the details. She even let him to stay in the castle until he had found a place to stay, which he accepted. When Gabby was told about this, she was just excited for him. She was really happy that he had found a new work, a new place to stay, well, temporarily. That meant that they can start spending more time together, since they hadn't been seeing much each other since she moved to Ponyville. But there was just one thing. Now that he was single, maybe that she could maybe try to go out with him. But at the same time, she was very scared if he didn't like her same way back. If she did ask him, probably he would say, "Oh, I'm sorry, Gabby. I like you as a friend, not more." So that was the one of the reasons that she didn't say much to him. But over time, Blaze found a new work. He loved his new work, found a new place to stay, and he quickly became made friend with Applejack and Rainbow and the others. But it was during one time when he was spending time with Applejack and Rainbow. They were just walking through town and they were just and suddenly Gabby came up with a topic and Rainbow said, "Did you know that Gabby had a crush on you?" Wait, what? Gabby had a crush on me? He said. He was really surprised. I have no idea. Wait, she didn't tell you? Said Applejack. No, she didn't. Huh. I thought she would have done by now. I mean, she had a crush on you for at least, but can it be in a year? I think so. It was a year, said Applejack. And after that moment, Blaze found something about this. He needed to talk to Gabby about this. So when he met her at the park, when she was had day off, they just talked about almost something randomly. When he felt more curious about this, then he tipped up. He brought the subject up. He asked her, "Gabby, I have to ask you something. Hmm. Do you have a crush on me?" And that really surprised Gabby. She tried to make an excuse not to say his answer. But how did you find out about that? She asked. Rainbow Touch told me. And she was really surprised. But she said yes. It was true. And Gabby, she didn't know what to do. But suddenly when Blaze said, Well, if you wanted to do, maybe you can go out. About, let's say, tomorrow night. She liked that, she said. So ever since then, the first time they went out, they actually went to a restaurant. And they just had a great time. But even though there were a lot of things, they had so much things in common. Gabby was still very curious and a little bit scared how these things would end up. Would they still end up as a couple or just be as a close friends? Because even though that she was nervous, she wondered, will these things be any between them? If this didn't work out, how would their friendship be afterwards? Would it be too awkward for them to even talk? Would she or he move out from Ponyville to just try to avoid each other? He actually wanted to make the try to work it out. And after nearly about 6 months of being dating, things seemed to be going between them. Consider for how much Gabby had liked him for so long, and that Gabby was really excited to know that he liked her back. Even after the second date, when Blaze did realize Gabby is the one he's supposed to be with. Even though first he didn't know what to do, so he often had asked some of his new friends like Big Mac, Spike, even Discord of all, for any advice. And after a while, though, even though he himself his first thought maybe this relationship wouldn't work out, but it did actually. Even if most of her friends were very excited and happy for them both. And after they'd been dating for about 4 years, Blaze took with Gabby to a cliff over outside town to have a picnic. And they sat there, talked, and has just enjoyed the company, even around sunset when he then showed her a ring and then asked her if she wanted to marry him, if she could not start crying of happiness. See, the point is, she said yes right away, and when they told their friends, they could not have been more happier from both. Even Big Mac of all was so excited for his new friend that he actually had taken the next step in their relationship. Even though Blaze had asked Big Mac to be his best man, and Gabby had asked Fluttershy to be her bridesmaid, and they had even asked Twilight to perform the ceremony, which she gladly to do. Even after all this time, both of them could not have been more happier about this new relationship they were having, and also by taking the next step. After a few weeks, they were getting married. And at the party after the wedding, though, it was really epic. So wild. So much dancing, some music. It was the best day from both. They even went to Las Pegasus for about a week for honeymoon. There, they had a great time as well. When they came back, they were happy to have entered a new chapter in their lives together. Even though they were not excited more than ever. Even though that even though Gabby herself, she had no idea. She didn't know at first when they start dating if their relationship would spark or if they would fail right after the first date or so. But she was really proud that their relationship actually worked out. And that she was really happy to be with him. Even for most of all in her life, she could not have been more happier to be with him. And after 2 years of being married, Gabby found out she was pregnant, and she had later two eggs, later to hatch to be two daughters. Blaze, Blaze though, he was so well excited to be a father, and he could not have been more proud to have two daughters to teach how to be fast, strong, but loyal, but most of all, fast. Even after all this, Gabby and Blaze could not have been more excited to be with each other. If Blaze hadn't moved, or perhaps even visited Ponyville, he and Gabby would never have found their true love between them, and they would never have this great happiness. And if Gabby never had experienced, if she never had expressed her true feelings toward Blaze, that would have been the same thing for her. And if Gabby still would have been with her pony boyfriend, she would never have been with him, with Blaze, and have this great happiness. So both Gabby and Blaze were really excited to be with each other. Both of them agreed this was this something that both of them were really hoped for. And even most of all, Gabby and Blaze were really, really happy to be with each other. And that's how Gabby and Blaze, for the true love, got a big family. The end.